My name's J.R. Robbins, and I'm the managing editor of NRAHuntersRights.org. I want to welcome you to Spring Gobbler Hunting 101. This is part of a series of videos we're making designed to give you some very basic information on getting started in different types of hunting. If you've never hunted at all before, your first step is to take a hunter education class. To find a class, you can go to NRAHuntersRights.org and click on State Hunter Education Programs. Once you finish the class, you may need to show your completion certificate to get your license, which is issued by the State Game and Fish Agency. You can generally buy your license at a sporting goods store, a gun shop, or a big retail outlet like Walmart. Some state agencies have online directories to help you find where you can buy your license. Here's one from Texas. You can also buy them directly from the agency, often online or over the phone. You will need to read your state hunting regulations very carefully to determine what licenses, stamps, and permits you need. For example, to hunt turkeys in Virginia, you need your basic hunting license, plus you need a combination deer, bear, and turkey license. These requirements vary widely by state. Again, read your state hunting regulations carefully. License requirements can be very complicated. Finding a good place to hunt can be difficult, but there are several options to try. You can try to get permission from a private landowner. Although people who live in the cities and suburbs may find it difficult to make contact with private farmers or ranchers, any leads you can get through family, friends, sportsmen's clubs, gun shops, or your state game and fish agency are worth pursuing. Some states are also now operating an NRA-backed program generically called walk-in or open fields, in which private landowners open their land to public hunting. Check with your state game and fish department to find these. Here's one in Kansas. And a few states conduct hunter-landowner assistance programs like this one in Wyoming, which put hunters and landowners in touch with each other. Another option is to hunt federal or state public land. Most state game and fish departments have information on their websites about the public land you can hunt and what game species are found on it. NRAHuntersRights.org has a portal called Places to Hunt that will help you find these public hunting areas by state. Here's an example for a wildlife management area in Virginia. For youngsters, many states have special youth turkey hunts managed by the State Game and Fish Department. Contact them or check their websites to find out more about this possibility. We're going to focus on eastern wild turkeys, but you should know there are several other subspecies of turkeys found in the United States: Rio Grande, Merriam's, Osceola, and Gould's. Among eastern turkeys, it's possible for both the gobblers and the hens to have beards. So many state regulations allow you to shoot a bearded turkey. But telling a gobbler from a hen in the spring is not hard if you can get a good look at the bird. In the spring, gobblers may have a vibrant red, white, and blue head coloration. Their bodies are dark, almost black. Gobblers will strut, fan their tails, and gobble. Hens do not. Gobblers also have spurs on their legs that lengthen with age. Hens tend to be smaller, have a bluish-gray head color, and are more brown than black. For eastern turkeys, any shotgun action can be used. Pumps, semi-autos, and over-unders are all popular. Many manufacturers now offer highly specialized turkey guns with effective camouflage patterns, synthetic stocks, fiber optic sights, low-power scopes, and full or extra-full extended chokes. The entry-level turkey hunter does not really have to have this much sophistication, but you should certainly explore these options as you get progressively more serious about turkey hunting. 10-gauge shotguns are gaining popularity in the turkey woods, but the vast majority of turkey hunters will still prefer a 12-gauge. A 20-gauge should not be ruled out, but it's the absolute minimum for most hunters. If you use one, try to shoot at about 35 yards or less. Barrel length can vary a lot. Anywhere between 21 and 28 inches is common. The shorter barrels are light and easy to maneuver in tight spring foliage. Longer barrels give you a longer sighting plane. Most hunters use full or even extra full chokes for turkeys. As for ammunition, shot sizes like 4, 5, and 6 can all be effective. Turkeys are big, tough birds. 2 3/4 inch shells are quite common, but don't hesitate to consider a 3-inch or 3.5-inch shot shell if you and your gun can handle it. You're going to feel more recoil with the larger shot shells, and you must make sure they are compatible with your gun. Check your owner's manual and the stamp on the barrel of your gun to make sure. Turkey ammunition can range from simple lead shot to more expensive copper-plated and buffered loads. The copper plating and buffering give you a bit more of an effective range by preventing the shot pellets from deforming as they travel down the barrel. Ideally, you want your gun and ammunition to produce a tight, dense pattern out to about 40 yards. You can check this by patterning your shotgun on a life-size turkey target. Different brands of ammo, different loads or chokes can all mean different patterning results. It takes some time and experimentation to find out what ammunition patterns best in your gun. Most experienced turkey hunters wear head-to-toe camouflage. There are many different patterns. The basic key is to try and blend in with the area you will hunt at the appropriate time of year. There can be substantial differences in foliage between early spring and late spring, for example. The more camo you have, the better. Shirts, pants, boots, gloves, hat, and even head net will all help you hide from sharp-eyed gobblers. You want to keep your exposed skin to a minimum. A well-placed hen decoy can add realism to your setup and entice a gobbler to come in those last few yards. The addition of a gobbler decoy, particularly early in the season, might also stimulate a dominant tom to come in and settle a territorial dispute. To be on the safe side, avoid using gobbler decoys on public land. All the safety rules you learned in hunter education are important, and in turkey hunting, two are especially critical. First, be sure of your target and what's beyond. Thick spring foliage can make this difficult. Be patient and positively identify your target as a legal bird and what's beyond it before shooting. Second, avoid wearing anything red, white, or blue, since all those colors may appear on a gobbler's head and neck in the spring. Finding turkeys in the spring is partially a matter of looking for sign on the ground, like scratchings where birds feed, tracks, or J-shaped gobbler droppings. Listen to Tom Hindman, NRA Turkey Clinic instructor, cover this.
Certainly one thing a seasoned turkey hunter looks for in a spring turkey wood so that he can hunt with the ultimate confidence is a concentration of fresh turkey sign. It manifests itself in many ways, but an unusual circumstance that we have here is one that some people don't recognize until they learn what it is. And what we have here in this moss is a concentration of grubs, and it becomes a turkey magnet. The turkeys really appreciate protein in the spring of the year. It's a very important part of their diet. And in fact, 76–80% of their diet is going to be grasshoppers, bugs, all these things that are going to promote growth, especially with the young turkeys. But what has happened here, they've torn up this moss to get to those grubs, and they do it routinely. And it even gets to be a nuisance to the landowner if it's a place that they're trying to cultivate. But in addition to this, you can see other sign that's available and present. The J-shaped gobbler dropping, the popcorn-shaped hen dropping. So it's actually, you can distinguish the sex of the bird by the configuration of the dropping. And if there are any feathers in the area, look them over carefully. The body feather of a gobbler is going to have the black edge tip. These are all things to keep an eye out for in the spring woods anytime that you're hunting turkey.
Finding turkeys is also about listening. Towards sundown, turkeys often gobble from their roosting tree, or they may gobble in response to an owl hoot that you make. If you can identify the tree where the bird is roosting, quickly look for a spot to set up and then back out. You don't want to scare him off. Sneak back to that spot early the next morning and wait for the bird to come off the roost. Let's look a little more at what makes a good setup spot with Tom Hindman and NRA Hunters' Rights Assistant Editor Justin McDaniel on a spring gobbler hunt they took in Pennsylvania.
This spot was carefully selected as a setup for the reasons of being safe and being productive at the same time. A large tree was chosen wider than the shoulders to break up the silhouette and to protect us from anybody that would approach from the rear to our calling. We also have a rim going down into a deep hollow that at the edge of the bench is at no point more than 30 yards away. So if a bird comes up out of the hollow, it's going to be in range as soon as it presents itself. We're also sitting on an established game trail here, which is going to be a natural travel corridor. That's why we've placed the decoys on that trail. Hopefully, when a bird shows, comes up and at the top of the rim and takes a peek. It'll see the red head, it'll be distracted by that, and it will already be in range, so we'll have full control.
One of the true joys of spring gobbler hunting is learning to use the many different types of calls on the market. There are box calls, wing bones, peg and slate, locator calls, and diaphragms. Most beginners start with a simple box call. These are fairly easy to master and can produce very good sound quality. You do need two hands to use them, which can be a slight disadvantage. Let's listen to Tom Hyman for more on calling turkeys.
Biologists tell us that there are perhaps upwards of 60 different calls that a turkey can make. But with all those calls, they're nothing more than variations of some of the very basic calls that a turkey makes. The most basic is the yelp. It's a simple two-tone sound. It rolls over into the two tones and sounds like a keok, keok, and it can be a little bit faster, a little bit slower, depending upon the maturity of the bird, the timbre of its voice, again, depending upon how old that bird is. But it's very easily recognizable with a box call. It turns over and makes that very easily distinguished two-note sound. And that call has a little bit of rasp in it, which tells you that it's a little bit older bird. There's another basic call called the cluck, and it's just a single note. Usually an inquiring note that has a question attached to it. I'm over here, where are you? Whenever a turkey makes that single cluck, it's expecting to hear a single cluck in return. In a hunting scenario, you want to be able to return that cluck when you hear it, because if that turkey doesn't hear that cluck, it's out of dodge. It doesn't necessarily have to see that bird, but it has to be assured that it's there by having that cluck returned. Now, the other call that is very distinctive that the male turkey makes is a gobble. That's what we want to hear in the turkey woods, but we don't necessarily want to use it without a lot of caution, because it can attract other hunters as well as maybe challenge other gobblers. Many people think that in the male macho way, the turkey's out there beating on his chest, staking out his territory whenever he's gobbling. Well, that's not actually the way it works in nature. When the turkey's gobbling, he wants the hens to come to him. He's just letting them know where he is, and it's a call that's done for breeding purposes. Another type of call that we use to advantage sometimes, if it's not overused and if it's used properly, are various types of locator calls. It doesn't matter which locator call you use, as long as you can get them to gobble. And as long as you don't use a locator call that's been overused. One of the perhaps most overused locator call is an owl call. Sometimes we have callers out there that are so infatuated with their virtuosity with an owl call that they go through the whole 8-note scenario, the whole owl symphony. And you all know that. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you? The 8-note call. You don't have to go through all of those notes. If you want to get a turkey to sound off, it can be just the tail end. The reason for not getting carried away is you have to be able to hear that bird gobble. So why go through 8 or 9 notes and miss the whole gobble? The point is to make them gobble so you can hear it. And that's about the end of the story.
Once you're set up, have called the bird and have a gobbler coming in, be patient, be rock solid still, and be ready. Try to have your gun up and be in position to shoot before the gobbler can see you. They can spot the slightest movement. When he's in range, aim for the head and neck area. Turkeys are one of America's greatest conservation success stories. Habitat loss and market hunting pushed turkey populations to very low levels by the early 1900s. By 1920, they'd actually disappeared from 18 states in their original range. But restocking efforts in habitat enhancement, paid for with hunters' dollars, and cooperative work between state wildlife agencies and private groups have brought their numbers back to the healthy, sustainable levels we enjoy today. This video has only scratched the surface of all there is to learn about spring gobbler hunting. Another good source is the NRA book Wild Turkey Hunting, available at the address shown on the screen. Thanks for watching and good luck in the turkey woods.